Howdy do, lovelies. So it's November and I'm just coming back and gonna share with you my November budget. I'm like 2 days late. Really, lady? How you gonna be late with the budget? Well, here's the reality of my life. The kids and I, we've been traveling, and we just this very minute right now, walked back in the house, and we've been on the road all day. And I said I cannot go to bed until I film this video. I've been trying to film this video for 2 days and it has not worked. I do work out of town. With my job, I do go out of town a little bit, a couple times a year. And so we were out of town, but I am home now. Whoop, whoop. Excited to be home, and we're going to film this video. So I just want to kind of bring you up to speed a little bit, and then I'm going to bring you into November. So I did my October video, and probably about 8 days or so in there after October the 1st, we got news that there was a hurricane coming on the East Coast. And my budget is very set. It is, the numbers are what they are. It doesn't change. I'm sometimes having to shift monies around just to make things work. And we had been watching that storm. Hurricane Matthew was coming down the east. It's coming up the East Coast. It was coming up from Florida, and we were going to be impacted in the city that I live in. And so I think as a parent, you really start looking at how do you get yourself and your children prepared for what they are saying is going to be a Category 4 storm. You're getting a direct hit. And of course, I'd never been through a storm by myself. The last storm we had been through in this area was I can't even remember what the name of it was, but it was back in 2006, and it was only like a Category 1. So we fared well through that. We didn't own property. We were renting at the time. I was still married. And of course, I had that support. My older children were still home. So it wasn't just me and the little kids. And so that was a little bit challenging. On top of that, I've just purchased a new house about 6 months ago. So I'm worried, do I have enough insurance? You know, you can't get flood insurance now because the hurricane is coming. Whatever you have, it needs to be what it needs to be. So we're battening down the hatches, and then I go to the hurricane preparedness website, and you look at all these things that you got to have. You need a surplus of water times this much for every person, these many perishable items just in case your power goes out. You need to have flashlights, ponchos. You need to have your gas tank filled. You need to have cash on hand. You need to be able to stay in a hotel if you can. All these things you have to do. And I'm thinking, I did my budget. There is no extra for nothing. No, there's no hurricane relief in my October budget. And as you're praying for the safety of people, and I'm being very serious here, as you're praying for the safety of people, you really begin to ask the Lord to take care of your family. And so what happened was, I had done an internship in the summer, and it was a week-long internship, and we were going to get paid $800. And we had been told the week before that our checks were in the mail. We should have been paid way before now, and the lady wasn't sure why we hadn't been paid. So we got that email the week before. If you're hearing noises, it's the shower in my guest bathroom. We're getting showers for the night, and I didn't realize it was so loud, so I apologize ahead of time. So anyway, we got an email saying, hey, I don't know what's wrong or why the checks haven't come, but don't worry, they're on their way. So, you know, another week passes, and now it's the week that Hurricane Matthew was coming. And on that Thursday, we got another email that said, I checked with DPI, and we're still not sure why your checks aren't there. They should be here by next week, Thursday. So Hurricane Matthew, Thursday. And our checks should be here by next Thursday after the hurricane. So I just want to tell you how the Lord works. So we're already told that we're not going to have school on Friday. Okay, because we're preparing for the hurricane. In the area where I live, there's some flooding that could occur, so we wanted to make sure that people were safe off the roads. Everybody was home with their families, so we were not having school on Friday. So I come home and I check my mailbox, and in the mailbox on Thursday of the hurricane week, because it's coming on Saturday, is the check for $500 that was supposed to come a week later. So I'm thinking, oh my God, how good is the Lord to really know that I didn't have the extra money to make preparations for the hurricane. My kids and I were going to be okay. We were going to just make do with what we had here in the house. We weren't going anywhere. We didn't have plans to travel. And we were going to be okay. And I had just prayed. I said, Lord, just let us be okay. Well, anyway, that money came in. I was able to get over to the bank really fast, deposited that money into my banking account, paid tithe off of that money, because I pay tithe off of every dollar that comes in this house. So I paid $50 in tithes, and I had $450 left, just preparing for the hurricane. And this is simple preparations. We spent $300 or more. Do we have enough food? Do we have enough water? Do we have batteries? Because we didn't have any of that stuff that we needed. I have a refrigerator and freezer full of food, but if your power goes out, how do you make do? So I really just wanted to encourage you, or those of you that are following my journey. God is faithful to me all the time. I can't say it any better than that. I can't make anybody understand it. I don't know. I do know why. It's just because he is faithful, but he always shows up for me and my children. There's never been a time when God has not been faithful to us, and that's just not in money or finances. He's faithful in our health, and he's faithful in us having a place to live. He's faithful in me being able to travel to places with my job free of charge. I get travel expense. I get to go and do my workshops and come home. I haven't lost anything for going. I've gotten my professional development that I've needed, and it's all worked out, and God is just so good. So I just wanted to tell you that in October we ended up having a little bit more than what we would have normally had, but what we did have, we put towards hurricane relief. And as you know, Matthew did hit eastern part of North Carolina, and there were some counties just up from where I live, Lumberton, Robeson County, Fayetteville, just up, that were hit pretty hard by the hurricane. So some friends and I, and different churches, and our church specifically, have been doing all that we can do, because when I say we got really lucky, we had a lot of wind, we had a lot of rain. We had a lot of wind, we had a lot of rain. There was some damage, but the storm was supposed to directly hit us, and it totally missed us and went a little bit more inland. And those families and homes and lives were devastated. I was at a meeting just earlier today, and someone said that one of the schools just went back on Monday, and they still had a 2-hour delay trying to get those kids back to school. So, if you're following relief efforts or whatever, and you know of a great organization that you can donate to, I would impress upon you to think about what you and your family have, and look around at your blessings, and then potentially give back, if that's even in service, if that's in finances, to a church or a reputable organization that all of the proceeds will go to those families. Then please do that. And if you can't do anything else, just send up a word of prayer. Some people are still getting their lives back together after the hurricane. So that is, October is over, and now we're into November. So I get excited, because when I look at the numbers, nothing I do in my life should make any sense. Nothing should make sense. And just an FYI for those of you who are following my my thrift hauls, this is one of the dresses that I featured on one of the thrift hauls. So I'm just gonna see if you can see it a little bit. I'm kind of sitting down, but anyway, it was the one with the all polka dots. So this is one of the dresses, and I've been at a meeting all day and I've drove 6 hours to get home, so we are just walking through the door. But this is one of the dresses, and I was walking through the hotel today, and one lady, she was like, that dress, I love that dress. And I'm looking at hers going, I love your dress. The dress you're wearing is like, girl, yes. So anyway, I'm all over the place. Getting back to the budget. So I did my budget for November, and I do follow the Dave Ramsey plan, zero-based budget. But November is a weird month, and I say that because in my particular job, we get a supplement twice a year, and that is to supplement our normal yearly income. We get just a little bit extra twice a year, and we get that at the end of October and the end of April. So for this month's paycheck, I got my regular paycheck, and I got an $1,800 supplement in addition to my regular paycheck. And what I usually take my supplement money and do is catch up on any bills that I might be behind on, or I put money into my emergency fund or the Christmas fund. So I was real down on my emergency fund, and I try to have $1,000 emergency fund all the time. That's baby step number 1. And so I'm just almost back at 1,000. I think I'm at like 930 something or 980 something. I can't remember the exact number because I actually transferred money in there today. So I'm close to having baby step number 1 checked off the list. Yay for baby step number 1. So I'm going to go through this very quickly because this has already been a long video, and I do apologize. But I just want to show you where we are. Okay, so let's see if you can see this. That says payroll, and my payroll was $38.71, and of course that was my regular pay plus my supplement. That's not my normal. I normally make about 2,600 and some, or that's how much I bring home. That's my bring home pay. So with that, I did my spreadsheet yet again, same spreadsheet that I use all the time. And these are the areas that I have as categories. I have my charitable gifts. Let me see if you can see that. Charitable gifts, savings, household, utilities. Food is in red, which means that's a cash envelope. Transportation, clothing, medical. Flip it over. Personal. What else? And then I had a professional organization, recreation, any debts, and then anything other that I might have had. And let me tell you about this. So my cash categories this month were lawn care, groceries, blow money, and clothing. Those were the 4 categories that I had for cash envelopes, and I do have my envelopes here that I am going to stuff. So I was going on a business trip this month, and my hotel room is being paid for by the association, but I was going to have to pay some up front and then get reimbursed, and all of that was going to take place. So when I got there, my executive director came over and she said, well, let me walk with you over to the desk, because we wanted to make sure that everything was squared away with my part and their part and whatever, and how I was going to get reimbursed. So what she did was she said, listen, let's transfer her room onto the master bill. So that meant I had put aside $140, and I didn't have to spend that money. So that $140 that I had, well, now that I'm thinking about it, that $140 that I did not spend is still sitting in my general account. And because I didn't spend it on the room, I can now that I'm thinking about this just hit me, I can now move that into my savings account that'll bump my emergency fund to $1,000 and give me a head start on Christmas money. So I have a little bit, about $100 towards Christmas money. That's good. I'm glad I was talking that through with you guys. Y'all help me. Thank you. So for my lawn care this month, I have $50. My little lawn guy comes twice a month, and we don't have grass to cut now, but I have this huge tree in my yard, and I really wish they had cut that tree down when they built this house, but they didn't. So all the leaves have got to fall off that tree, and every day we could be out there raking leaves, and we would still have more leaves the next day after the day we raked them before. So the little lawn guy comes out and he does my leaves for me twice a month. The next category I have is groceries. So I have $200 for groceries, and that's $50 a week. I had blow money at $50, but I actually changed that to $30, and there's a good reason why, but I can't think of it right this moment. And then I had clothing money at $54.81. So here's what I remember. This is what I remember now. Because I was going on the trip with having to not eat out as much, I try to prepare and pack things. Like I'll do sandwich meat and bread, and so I'm not spending so much just eating out. And I needed to stop and get some things just so I would have in the room, because I was there Monday, Tuesday, and we just got home today. So I spent about $54. I spent my clothing budget just on foods to take up to the workshop where I was. And that for me, because $54 is probably only 2 or 3 meals, I was able to get everything I needed in that $54. So I feel okay about that. So I had tithe and offering for this month, which included my regular tithe plus tithe off of my supplement, which I always do. The ministry that we normally are partnering with, I got a new debit card or credit card, so the old one doesn't work anymore, so I have to call them tomorrow and give my new credentials in there. Kids commissions, I got out $20 for kids commissions. That was a cash. I didn't have it on there, but that was cash. So I got $20 out for kids commissions. For my emergency fund, just out of my regular, what I was thinking of right now, I put in my emergency fund $700. But then today I added in $150, so that's $850, and then I have another $140 that I'm going to add in, so that's going to be $990 that will go into my emergency fund, emergency savings fund. My mortgage, I have, then my lawn care, my insurance for my cell phone. My utility bill was about $20 less this month than it was last month. It's getting a little bit cooler here, so we're not using the air conditioner as much. We've turned the heat on once, but we had to end up turning the air back on because it's so hot here. My phone bill, so I remember saying this last month, that the insurance came due for my car and my son's car. And because my son has a newer car, he has a 2014, I have a 2001. I'm okay with that. It's totally paid for. The end. But he has to have liability and collision insurance on his. And because of that, his insurance is way more expensive than mine. So we had $1,500 for 6 months. And I like to pay for 6 months. So my son paid $1,500. His is really $1,300 and mine is $200 because they needed it up front. So he did that, and I took care of his cell phone bill, which was $100 last month and $100 this month, to make up for the $200 that he paid for my car insurance. So we're square. It kind of washes. He paid ahead on the insurance, and I'm taking care of his phone bill last month and this month for $200. I have my internet service. My water bill was up a little bit more than normal. $200 for groceries, $120 for gas. I may actually end up spending a little bit more in gas because I did have to travel, but I will get gas travel back once I fill out my paperwork for that. The clothing money I pulled out, and I just used that for on the road food that I needed to get ahead of time. Flipping it over, miscellaneous. Okay, we moved into this house 6 months ago, so we tried to vacuum the carpets, but we have still the new carpet. The new carpet is still shedding, and the vacuum that I have does not always do a good job of getting that up, and it kind of gets clogged a lot. So I bought a bagless vacuum that was on sale for $50, and then I actually ended up getting a couple other things. I think I got a utility bag all from Walmart and a couple other things. They were for the house. I can't remember what it was I bought because it was last week, but I had $142.71 in miscellaneous. So here's another thing. Because I had the supplement money, I was able to purchase the vacuum cleaner. Had I not had the supplement money, I would not have purchased that because it would not have fit into my normal pay. So because I did have supplement money, which out of $1,800, I ended up getting like $1,200 after taxes. So I directly put $700 into the account for emergency fund, and that left a few more monies for some other things, which was my hotel room was $140 that I thought I was going to have to pay. And my children did they went to a thing at their karate dojo. It was just like a kids parents night out where you could go drop them off for a couple hours and the parents could go, and so that was $40. And then I still owed $60 on sister's karate bag, so I had to end up paying that, so that was $100 plus $140, so that was $240. Probably the blow money went into that, so that was $290. And then the miscellaneous money, and the clothing money, I'm sure. And then the tithe off of the supplement money also went in there as well. So all in all, my total bring home was $38.7103, and I zero based my budget out, and there's no more money to be spent. Now, of course, let me show y'all this. I'm not sure if you can really see this, but I have two categories here, or two subtotals. This is my actually spent column, and then over here is my zero based budget column. So I do this sheet twice. I fill out what I think I'm going to have for expenses going off of last month's expenses, and any new bills and projected bills I might have, and then I do an actual column so I can actually see what I am spending, and then my actual column becomes my projected column for the next month that's coming. So I did have time to go to the bank before I left, but I did not have time to stuff any of my envelopes. So I was able to get cash out on Monday before I had to leave, and so I took this to the bank, and of course my bank person just looks at the denoms that I have, and then she will give me those amount of denominations. So I needed 11 20s, 5 10s, 1 50, 2 5s, 4 1s, 3 quarters, 1 nickel, and 1 penny. And that was for the 81 cent that I had on the clothing budget. And I have some envelopes here that I'm going to stuff. So I have lawn care, and it was a nice surprise that when we pulled up in the driveway, my lawn guy had been out there, and he left a stack of leaves out there that he's probably going to come back and get up tomorrow. So that was great that he did that, and I was just excited because we have not been here. So I give him $50, and I do $25 a piece, $25 this week and $25 for next week. So that's going to go into my envelope marked Lawn Care Lawn Man times 2, which is $25 a piece. Okay, that's that one. The next budget category or cash envelope category that I have is groceries. So I have $200 for groceries, or $50 a week for 4 weeks. And then I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I have $50 times 1. Week 2 is $50. Week 3 is $50. And week 4 is $50. So I am going to take week 1 and stuff that in my wallet, but I'm going to do the others in envelopes. So this is groceries week 2, and I'm going to stuff that. Remember, just ask your bank teller for a few extra envelopes, and they are more than happy to give you envelopes. So that's week 2 for groceries. This is groceries week 3. And remember, I keep these in the safe. Week 3 for groceries. And I stuff 1 week in my wallet. This is groceries week 4. And then the grocery money that I had for this week, which is coming up, I am going to just stuff in my wallet. And remember, I already have, this is not bulging out from overflow of finances. It's bulging out because I actually put my checkbook in there, which I don't write. I don't normally write checks, so I'm good. I'm good there. But I do have my dividers that I normally put my cash money behind, and so those are in my wallet. And I have in the front, I have my grocery tab, and I'm going to put my $50 in grocery money behind there. And then this time I do have my blow money, so I'm gonna stuff my $30 in blow money in here. So that is my November budget. I'm very thankful that I was able to have that extra supplement money. I think the people that I work for do an extremely good job of taking care of us as far as, you know, supplements. Some don't make nearly as much as I do, maybe $100 or $200. And I guess we're thankful for what we get, but I'm very thankful that I was able to put the money back into my emergency fund to get that back where it needed to be, as well as I now have a little bit left over for Christmas. So I'm going to pay my mortgage tonight, my utility bill tonight, my water bill tonight, because all of those can be paid online. And remember, when you pay those, then beside your category, you can actually put in this is a spreadsheet, so you can actually go in and put your confirmation numbers. And I do like to write my confirmation numbers in just in case there's ever a problem. I can say what my confirmation number is. And remember, I try to keep my budgets for 6 months. This is not all the way truth. I probably have budgets back to 2011 electronically. I keep those electronically. Every budget I've made since 2011, I have on an electronic flash drive. And I could probably even upload those to my Google Drive if I wanted to. But anyway, I have rambled on enough. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for just going on this journey with us. YouTube is a whole world of its own, and I actually enjoy it. My kids enjoy it. And we're thankful that you decide to come by and check on us. So if you like what you've heard, like our video, subscribe to our channel, I'm going to try to get more videos uploaded if my busy life would slow down just a hair. But I do the best that I can. We love you. We love the Lord. We're excited about where God is taking us. We're excited about this debt-free journey. It's not going to be long. I have $8,800 and then I am out of debt forever. The end. Amen. So, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.